Real Estate Career Mentor Podcast, Episode 2. Hey, everybody, and welcome once again to the Real Estate Career Mentor Podcast. I'm Marty Green, and I'm here to deliver valuable information to you each and every session to help you in your real estate business. Doesn't really matter if you're a new agent or you've been at it for a while, there's always something we can do to improve ourselves in our real estate career. Today I'm going to be talking about the 10 personality traits every realtor should have, and later on in the quick tip, I'm going to be talking about how to increase your Twitter followers. I know a lot of people are on Twitter, and we can always use more followers. So with that, let's get at it, shall we? Okay. So happy New Year, everybody, and I wish everybody a very prosperous 2012 in their real estate career. I hopefully we can all do things to push our business to the next level and really take it to the next level as well. So here's Happy New Year to everybody, and wishing you all the best. Today I want to talk to you about the 10 personality traits that I think every realtor should have. And I know a lot of people are thinking about getting into the real estate business, and they're really unsure of what it takes to make a good realtor and what kind of skill sets they need and should have. And today we're going to get into different ideas, and hopefully you possess many of these traits. I know a lot of people that I'm training, they do possess a lot of these traits, and if not all of them. And most realtors I think do, but it's just letting you know that you should be aware of these things, and really gives you a chance to isolate them and maybe improve on them for yourself to make you a better realtor. So I think let's just get right into it today, shall we? So here we go. First, out of the 10 tips, 10 personality traits, I would say likability and trust. You could combine them together. Definitely, if you're going to be successful in this business, likability is very important. When you meet people, you get one opportunity to make a good impression, and if it goes well, which most of the time it does, the likability factor will set you apart. You want to make sure that you're an easy person to work with, and one of the first rules of salesmanship is know, like, and trust. So first, they have to know who you are, but second, the big one is that they have to like you. In order for them to trust you, they're going to have to like you, and they're giving you their biggest asset to sell, generally, or it's the biggest transaction they're going to do that year. So you got to be a very likable person, and make sure that you do things to ensure that you're in a good mood when you meet people, and that goes a long way into producing long lasting relationships. So hopefully, generally when you meet people, they find you very easy and very likable, and you get along with a lot of people that you deal with, friends and family, on a regular basis. So that'll you're one step on your way to a prosperous career. Secondly, I would say work ethic ranks right up there for me. This is an industry where you're not given a lot of opportunities that you're not making yourself. I mean, people are not, oh, you're brand new in real estate. Here's 10 of my friends, and they're all ready to sell. That doesn't happen very often, if at all. And the reality is, you're going to have to go out there and make things happen. I often hear the term real estate is a contact sport. The more people we contact, the better we're going to do, and the busier we're going to be, and the more money we're going to make. And that all comes back down to work ethic. If you find yourself sleeping until noon each and every day, you may have an issue with work ethic. And we need to be self-starters and not procrastinators. And I know I've struggled with this, and still to this day, I'll procrastinate on big things. But for the most part, working at it really hard for the last 5 years. I would say I have a very good work ethic now, and I'm able to set tasks and build out a plan and execute on that. And that's very important in the real estate business. You need to wake up every morning and say, okay, how am I going to generate more leads today? How am I going to contact more people today? How am I going to meet more people? How am I going to do something to help people and improve their lives and help them move? And that all boils down to work ethic. So hopefully you've got the fire burning inside you and you're a self-starter and you're able to wake up every day and take action. And that's the big part of a real estate career, is the ability to get going and take action. So work ethic, huge personality trait that I think every realtor, to a degree, they already have it, but hopefully we can improve upon it as we go along. Thirdly, coachability. Obviously, I like this one because I coach many agents and I train many agents on a daily basis, and coachability is really important. There are a lot of people out there that think they know everything, and they think they know more than everybody else. And the reality is, we don't know everything, and there's always somebody who knows more. And honestly, if you're not easily coachable, that makes it very difficult for you to learn new concepts. And especially today, in today's world, with the technology going as fast as it's going, I think that's a big deal, and we need to stay on top of these things. And if you're not coachable, you could be in for a rough ride down the road. Failing to take advantage of some of the new technology, 10 years from now, that may be the way we're doing communications. The phone may die off or really drop, as it already has. Most people are texting now instead of phoning, especially Generation Y and the new millennium. So that's something to consider. Coachability, and being able to learn and wanting to get more training and to be coached, or just even finding new conferences to go to and new lessons to be learned. You want to be a coachable person, and I think that's really important for your growth as a realtor. Number four, sales experience. Now this is general sales experience, so I think it all helps if you're thinking about getting into real estate and you have a background in some type of sales. I know for me that was very true from an early age. My father, started me in his stereo store, so every Saturday I was in there, and from a very early age, less than 10 years old. And obviously early on I wasn't doing anything too much, dusting and vacuuming, but the opportunity to be in front of people and see how they react and interact with each other, that goes a long way. So if you have some retail sales experience, you've already been dealing with the public. Most people, just in their everyday lives, they're dealing with a lot of people each and every day. But if you have any sales experience where you had an opportunity to help people in customer service or anything like that, that's going to go a long way for you, believe it or not, because your ability to interact with people properly, I think that's going to, obviously, it's going to help you and ensure your relationships are deepened, and you have long lasting relationships that you can gain from referrals for a long time. Number five would be real estate related experience. So, a lot of people, I've heard this term comment so many times, I can sell anything to anybody. And that's great that you have that ability. But the reality is, if you were working in retail, the problem with retail versus a real estate career is real estate people have to generate the leads themselves. They're not relying as much on a brand name or a store sign. They don't have a place where they just sit and work every day, and the people just flow into the office, because that's not the reality of the real estate industry. You need to go out there and generate the lead. So if you're in a retail environment, that's a totally different experience. They come into the store wanting to purchase something, but in real estate, when they think about selling their home, it's oftentimes who's got the established relationship that's going to get the phone call. It's rare that they just look online and say the first realtor they see, they give them a call. That's very unusual these days. So cultivating relationships is really, really important. And having any type of real estate sales experience where you generate leads yourself, that will go a long, long way. So whether you worked in a real estate office or maybe you worked for a builder for a time, you're going to have a little bit more experience than the average person with sales experience. So that real estate sales experience can go a long, long way for you. Number six, often when I meet new individual agents that are looking to join our firm, one of the questions is I ask them is, what's the size of your network? And if I get an answer, like if I say, "How are you going to generate your leads?" and they say, "Well, I was hoping you would give me the leads." Um, they're in for a rude awakening in the real estate, getting into real estate because, like I said, you have to generate your own leads. You have to cultivate relationships. You have to build your database and be in contact with them all the time. Let them know you are in the real estate business. You're here to help them. You're here to serve them. And if the size of their network coming in to real estate is not very big, then they're already behind the eight ball. They're going to have to work even twice as hard to build their database. And I can tell you, I was one of these individuals. I did not have a large database or network to work from. My family is very small. I didn't have a lot of cousins and nephews and nieces and uncles and aunts to call upon. I had to work very hard and using a lot of the typical real estate techniques that I'm going to be talking about in future sessions, door knocking, cold calling, things like that. So always adding people to my database. So the size of your network, when you get into real estate, it's of a huge benefit to you if you have a larger network. I have a friend and coworker got into the business a number of years ago, and he had just shut down a couple businesses, and he had a tremendous database, and served him very well because as he got into real estate, he did very well. Both first and second year, right out of the gates, he was selling hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of real estate because he had such a database that he could draw on, relationships cultivated from his previous businesses over the years. So the size of your network, getting into real estate, very important. Hopefully, if you're, just going through the courses right now and getting into real estate, you should already be thinking about your database and cultivating relationships. And, even with other realtors, because if they're in different areas of the city or different areas, of the county or wherever you are, you want to cultivate those relationships because those are referrals. Those people are not going to want to drive to your area. So now that they can just pick up the phone and you're the person they can call, that's referral business that you do not want to turn away. So the size of your network, very important. And again, if you're just thinking about a real estate career right now, that's something you want to consider and start working on. If you're going through your courses, you want to start establishing your database and get those names and numbers into your database now because it gives you a chance to call on them at a later time. Number seven is a good listener, and I'm terrible. And when I started in this business, I have to admit I was a horrible listener. The saying that you have two ears and one mouth and use them in that proportion is a really good saying because the way I started out, you would think I had 10 mouths. I just talked and talked. And I guess that's why podcasting and doing this podcast is a very good idea for me because I tend to talk way too much. Now, over the years, I've improved my listening skills dramatically, but I have to say, when I started out, I really steamrolled people. I just kept talking and talking until they said yes. Not a highly recommended technique. I mean, that with confidence, it went far for me and really helped me. But gentlemen, this is for you. We are not as good listeners as the ladies, and I think that's why we see quite a few ladies in our industry because they are such good listeners and they really find out the people's needs. And men typically are not as good at this as women. So. That's something to think about. If you're not very good and you need to work on that, then that's a skill you should be working on. Being a good listener really will help you pick up on things that'll help you deepen relationships and listen for opportunities and ask for business. But definitely good listening skills, really important in your real estate career. Number 8, perseverance. Perseverance, I have to say, you have to have this to be good in real estate, because let me tell you, things are not always going to go your way. I know there are some realtors out there that they look like they're extremely lucky, and they're just getting opportunity after opportunity falling in their lap. I would say that that's because their work ethic is so high that they're generating those opportunities. But perseverance, things are not always going to go your way. You may have deals that you've written and you're just waiting for them to close, and they will fall apart. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because the longer you're in this business, the crazier things you are going to see. And things happen. People change their mind, and you've been working with a buyer for a number of weeks and you've shown them many properties, and all of a sudden they decide to stay put. Um, you have to let that run off you like rain, because if you let everything that goes wrong in this industry get to you, you're going to be out of the industry in less than a year. Perseverance, really important. Having thick skin, because honestly, this is a relationship business, and people do change their minds. We're only human. One minute we're looking for an investment property, and the next minute, you know what? I'm going to do something totally different, invest in this company over here, or go in the stock market or something like that. And this happens a lot. So, um, having thick skin and able to take criticism and persevere, very important to a real estate agent. Number 9 is accountability. Now, I used to say the big reasons realtors fail was scheduling and accountability, and this still holds true for me. One of the big reasons I see agents screwing up is accountability. They're not doing what they said they were going to do, and they're not holding themselves to a higher standard. So if you're, making promises that you're going to call people back at a certain time, or call your listing back and give them constant feedback, then that's absolutely what you should be doing. You got to hold yourself accountable. If you can't make these promises happen, then don't promise people. So, I struggled with this early on. I didn't have a very good system in place, and I was screwing up all the time. So, accountability is a big thing. If you say you're going to do something, if you promise you're going to make more calls, if you're going to get it out there and door knock, or you set a plan in motion, then be accountable to yourself, and start doing those tasks that you set in front of you. But especially if you're promising clients and customers, you definitely want to hold yourself and make sure you have a good system, and you follow through and get these things done. And I'll give you a little tip. If you promise something to somebody on a Friday and you can deliver it on Thursday, then absolutely that's what you should do. Under promise, over deliver. Great strategy. And that'll take you really far in your real estate career. And number 10, obviously tying in with accountability, is scheduling and being organized and having a great system. And I can tell you honestly, out of the gate, I was horrible. I had no schedule. I'm a techie kind of guy. And back then I didn't have, the devices were lacking 10 years ago. So, once I got my Palm Pilot, I was able to schedule and sync my calendar, and it was much easier. But I can remember receiving a phone call on a Tuesday and somebody saying to me, "Oh, could we meet on Friday around noon in front of this property?" And I said, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to do that." And of course, I wrote it down on a little post-it note. And Friday, I'm in the office, and it's about 5 after 12, and I get a phone call, and it's the clients, and they said, "I thought we were meeting in front of this house." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. What like, I mean, what was their thought of me?" I raced over to that house to show them the house, but they never called me back again. And honestly, I don't blame them. That's just horrible. You make an appointment with somebody, and their scheduling is so poor that they completely forgot. That's something you want to avoid. You don't want to do as I do and make those mistakes. And being on time is hugely important. I can tell you, I do a lot of training courses, and the people that come in late, it amazes me because you have to consider those appointments are you got to consider the training schedule as an appointment. That's somebody else giving up their time to be there for you. You should take that very seriously. What amazes me over the years, I was doing some training, weekly training for a group of agents in one of my offices, and this one particular lady would constantly show up late every single, without fail. Monday morning, 10 o'clock. She'd stroll in at 10:20. But here's the kicker: she would always have her coffee in her hand, whether it was a Starbucks or a Tim Hortons, and her bagel. And it just amazed me that she was able to, rather than give up on the coffee for that morning because she was running late. No, no, she's going to get her coffee. That goes without saying, but she's going to show up late for my class and disrupt the class. And, it's constant shuffling, and then it's eating in class, and everybody's trying to pay attention and make notes. And she's a complete disruption to the class. So uh, that just that's something you have to work on, whether you schedule your phone. Now it's so much easier, if you have an iPhone or a BlackBerry or an Android device. They all link to your calendar in real time. So I'm able to I use Gmail for my calendar and for my email, and I put something in that calendar, it is on my phone in a few seconds. Or I add something through my phone, it's in the calendar in real time. Just as soon as I hit enter, it's in there. So that's something you should be taking care of for yourself, and being organized and having a good system. Really, really important. And then we're gonna, as the sessions go along, I'm gonna be sharing all kinds of great ideas for you to use to help you improve on that. But those are the 10 personality traits I think are really important for a realtor. Likability and trust, number one. Work ethic, having a great work ethic, being a self starter and not procrastinating. Number two. Coachability, number three. Very important to be coachable. Number four, sales, general sales experience, very important, knowing how to interact with people. Number five, real estate related experience. If you have some experience directly related to the real estate industry, very, very helpful, and will take you much, much further. Um, Number six, the size of your network, really important. You should always be building your database at all times. Number seven, being a good listener, really, really important in communication. Number eight, perseverance. Like I said, not everything's going to go your way every day. You need to be able to persevere and carry on, and make it count. So perseverance, just let that stuff roll off you. And being accountable, setting things in motion and holding to them. Very important. So being accountable is number nine, and number 10, being organized, having a schedule, maybe a good system in place. If you're like me and you want to use technology, that's great. My wife, she uses the manual system, and it works really well for her. So those are the top 10 things, personality traits that make up a great realtor. And now I'd like to talk about the quick tips. So let's switch to that right now. Okay, so today's quick tip is on in increasing your Twitter followers. So I got a great resource, and I don't remember where. I think it came through the blogosphere. Um, some of the people that I follow religiously online, and I got this great tip for really increasing your Twitter followers. I see a lot of realtors out there. They know they need to be a presence on. They have to have a presence on Twitter, but as many people as they follow, and they're working at it, and they're on Twitter quite a bit, but they only have 35 followers or 50 followers, and you really, good for them for being on Twitter and communicating for people and just being available, because a lot of people do use Twitter. But you want to at least try to get your numbers up over 100. So here's a great resource that you can do, a little trick that I used that really jump started my Twitter account. And that's the website, Twello, TWELLOW.com. And what you do is you go into that website, and at the top you have a little box that you can fill in, and you have to log in first. So you can log in through your Facebook account, and once you're logged in, you can type in something like real estate. And what you're going to get is the top Twitter users, or the top Twitter people that have the most followers in real estate. Now, these people on there, and I'm talking, they have thousands and thousands of followers. Some of the top ones are over 100,000 followers. So what you do is you want to follow, probably, I think what I did was follow the first 20 people. And my account just exploded after that, because what's happening are people are out there looking to see who are following these people, and then they follow you as well. So not only do the people follow you back that you just followed, but other people are watching and they're following whoever follows the larger people. I know that sounds like a big giant circle. I hope you could follow that. But go to twello.com and sign in. Whether you sign in, create an account, or use Facebook, type in real estate in the box at the top, and you will see the top people in real estate. And I suggest you follow them right away, and they will follow you back. But then other people will be watching, and they will start following, and in turn, you should be following those people back. For your Twitter account, I recommend that you follow anybody who's related to the real estate industry, and that's what I do. So obviously, realtors, mortgage brokers, anybody in doing contracting or painting or roofing, anything like that. I'm following those people back. Lawyers. I'm also following marketers. So people that are in the marketing game, I want to learn from them as well. So if they're posting tips on marketing that I can take advantage, similar to this tip, then those people I'm going to follow back as well. And that's going to grow my account quickly. So, it's always nice that we have over a couple, if we can get over 100 at least followers, that shows really well on Twitter. So there's your quick tip for today. And, that's it for today. What I'm gonna do now is just give you my blog. If you want to check out more stuff that I post, I blog regularly, and you can find the blog at realestatecareermentor.com. And if you want to email me, you can email me at marty@realestatecareermentor.com. So if you want to give feedback on the podcast or on some of the posts, you can comment on some of the posts over at the blog. That would be great. I really appreciate that. Any feedback, what you think about the podcast, or what you think about the music and the tips. It's all great for me. I'm new to the game, so I really appreciate any feedback that you can give me. And I want to do a couple quick shout outs to some individuals I met through the podcast over the last couple weeks. Denise Shaw, I want to congratulate her. We met maybe a month ago, just before the new year. And congratulations to her. She just got into real estate. She joined up with Remax Twin City in Kitchener, Ontario. So, Denise, congratulations. And I want to give another quick shout out to Ryan McCain, who emailed me and gave me some encouragement about the podcast. And I really appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you so much. And to everybody, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. All the best to you in 2012. And, until next time, where I'm going to share some more great ideas. Try to do one thing today that makes your business a little bit better than yesterday. So that's my motto. Just do one thing today that improves your business. And, if you can do that every single day, you're going to have a great real estate career. That's it, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.